Playtest for the Cycle Frontier Season 3 has just been released, and if you get in quick, you can try things out for the next couple of days. So, what's new, what's changed, what's good, and what's bad? Well, a lot has certainly changed, with the station getting a complete overhaul to feel more alive, with guards all over, people working, the faction areas expanding, and even a howler being studied. But I'm sure you're all wondering, is any of this good? What does it mean for the Cycle Frontier in Season 3? Now, it's important to note that this is a test server, so things are still subject to change, but there is only around 3 weeks left until the final wipe, so what we see now is most likely going to be the final product. I had to go into this with the mindset of trying to ignore the wipe hype gameplay, as it sensationalizes your experience. A lot of players, a lot of scrappy fights with shitty guns. It's fun, but it skews your view when you're trying to look at things subjectively. This game truly does excel when there's a lot of people in it, and a wipe generally brings a lot of people back to it. So trying to avoid looking at that, let's get into the changes. So straight up, we have Mark 1 and 2 weapons. They've been added to the game, and we can see this by the ICA guarantee that there is a green Mark 1 version, this standard blue version, and I'm going to say it's safe to assume purple Mark 2 version. This feels like it could make things interesting by technically adding more guns, but it also feels like a very cheap way out of actually adding new guns and content to the game. Couple this with new ammos that specific guns can utilize, like this purple AR ammo. It can only be fired by the Advocate and Core. Higher tiers of ammo cost more than their lower tier counterparts, and they don't offer anything else outside of being able to fire by higher tier guns. Buying weapons will now cost you scripts alongside K-marks. Unsure how I feel about this one, because getting scripts felt like a long drawn out process already, and adding this as a player restriction for weaponry doesn't feel good when there are already the Mark 1 and 2 variants and the higher tier ammunition. Getting scripts will still feel the same, as while the quests have been tweaked and the rewards are pretty much the same. No changes to the job system as of yet.
Nice. Enjoy the rewards and come back soon.
New campaign missions for Osiris to incorporate the Howler, and an entirely new set of missions from Batum, your favorite bartender. These quests are meant to be the end game, unlocking after reaching level 12 with each of the factions. The Howler is here, and it is loud. Like, seriously loud. It's fucking annoying. I know the creature is supposed to be loud, but I don't get the obsession with sounds that make your ears hurt. Seriously, drills and howlers, please calm down. But for the fight itself, it isn't too difficult. Having to duck in and out of cover and pop shots off in between kind of makes it feel a little bit cheesy in a way, but it's early days so far, so who knows where this fight is going to take us. Movement is different. The player controller feels slower and more sluggish, as if they turned the inertia up. Which is a shame, because movement is one of the things that Cycle Frontier, I thought, did extremely well. This has since been confirmed to be a bug, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had implemented it without telling anyone, just to gauge player feedback. Armor durability has seen about a 50% reduction across all armors and helmets. Green and blue rarity weapon mods are now craftable. Not all are available though, so it's worthwhile checking out what you can and can't craft. I haven't got my hands on every gun so far, but recoil patterns have changed for some guns, as well as some weapons have had some balance changes, most notably the Brute going down to just 6 damage. Insurance was changed to a per raid basis instead of permanently insured. Theros Island is not accessible during the test, so any forged gear changes can't be seen. And alongside this, we have a bunch of audio, animation, graphical, and map tweaks to enhance your experience. Okay, so overall, lots to experience and get involved with, but what does it all mean for Cycle Frontier? Well, I've been playing for a few hours, and I've already got a full purple armor set and a Brute. I did not set out to do this, it just happened naturally, which to me is the most concerning thing. Economy is going to be a major driving factor in keeping the game relevant. Having high tier gear be hard to obtain was a very big selling point of going to no wipes. Yet here I am with some of the best gear in the game in under 2 hours. If you want to get technical, it was about an hour and 20 minutes of actual raid time gameplay. That being said, I have been trying to look at this subjectively and gather many different opinions to see how the changes affect different people. I've been watching streams, making notes, and writing this damn script out over and over and over. And what I keep coming back to is not a good picture. Now, this is all subject to change, and no one is currently working on the Atom questline, so I don't really know what that's going to involve when it comes to endgame, but the changes don't feel big enough. The core gameplay loop is the same and will stay the same for most players. High-end gear is not hard to get and won't be hard to maintain regardless of what price you put on ammo. The armor durability change feels out of place and just annoying with having to visit the gear printer to repair each time. Ammunition having different grades is counterintuitive, as a lot of the times the colors don't match the gun colors, so at a glance could be annoying to work out. At the same time, the ammo rarities were introduced as a way to balance out the good players by having them spend money to run high-end guns, but overall won't really affect the top level players, as seen with the stim price increase in the betas. A 300% increase, but it was worth the cost. Same with the ammo. Ironically, I actually see this as a way to gatekeep players who may have found or finally unlocked something like the Flechette. The gun might be everything they want right now, but because it uses the same ammo as a Brute, it's going to cost a ridiculous amount for them to run. Ammo rarities in their current state are bad, but individual tiers would allow for more balancing to occur. But on the downside, add to item bloat. The gun balance changes are just bad, especially the Brute. Such drastic changes in the wrong direction. Exotics being nerfed when they should be powerful, but rare. This could have been done with the introduction of the Mark I variants by removing all exotics from the factions and making it so the Mark II variants are the exo versions and can only be found on the planet. Such simple game design being fumbled in a way like this makes me question what's coming in the future, and if it's even going to be interesting enough to keep players invested in the game between major content updates. Speaking of content, the amount here feels like what you would expect in a wipe cycle, yet we are 3 months delayed from when it should have been released. We've gone from a game that wipes consistently like Escape from Tarkov or Rust, where wipes are content in of themselves. Small changes feel impactful and can be experienced repeatedly. Now, I'm aware that wipes aren't always the popular option, but it still feels like the devs haven't fully explored every option for the game to succeed, and that's the part that hurts the most. We just want the game to be the very best version of itself, because the Cycle Frontier, when lobbies are full, the matchmaking system is working well, people are interacting with each other, whether that's through VoIP or PvP, all of this together is what makes this game amazing and fun. It was so good that it was the main reason a lot of players were still dropping in daily, clinging to that feeling of when it was good. Because it was that damn good. Now we are at a game that doesn't wipe and will have seasons. It's hard to draw comparisons, but the thing I keep coming back to is Destiny. Mostly because of the whole sci-fi aspect, but still similar. If we put these two games against each other, the Cycle Frontier would kind of be like only playing Destiny with Crucible. The only other thing that the Cycle Frontier realistically would have to offer would be the Alpha Crusher dungeon, which is kind of like a light version of Destiny Vanguard Strike. If that was the only things in Destiny, would that be enough to keep people playing? There are other systems involved to add twists on the gameplay loop for the Cycle Frontier, but for the most part that's pretty much it. There aren't any major changes to the game. I feel like I'm going to be ostracized for this video at a time where most people are enjoying the public test server themselves. And while I am enjoying it as well, I still can't get past that the fun times in it are purely due to it feeling like a wipe, with new content to try out, quests to do, and actually having full lobbies to play in. I've gone from being cautiously optimistic to just doubtful about the future of the Cycle Frontier. I hope to be proven wrong, but everything I've seen so far has led me to this conclusion. That doesn't mean I'm going to be stopping playing the game, but it does mean that I will be leaving the partnership program with Jaeger for a variety of reasons. I hope that the end of season event will be interesting enough to get people to come back and try out the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of wacky thing we are going to be doing, as I think it will be setting the standard for season 3. For now, I have to get back to work as I'm not a full-time content creator, but I hope you guys check out the public test server for yourself for the last couple of days you can, and experience it and come to your own conclusions. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope things get better for the Cycle Frontier.